I had 60 seconds to make a choice that would either cost me my job or destroy a $4 million mansion. Mr. Sterling was screaming at me to move my 30-ton excavator. He didn't know that my bucket was the only thing stopping 500 tons of liquid mud from crushing his house. I looked at the pressure gauge. 4,800 psi. The machine was groaning under the load. If I move, the wall falls. If I stay, he calls the police for trespassing. He yelled, "Move it or I'll own your company by morning." I made my choice. I wasn't moving. I opened the door and said, "Sir, I can't do that. Physics is the boss today, not you." He didn't like that answer. But he didn't know that 48 hours ago, my foreman Mike found something buried in the dirt that proved this disaster was inevitable. To understand why the wall was failing, you have to look underground. 2 days ago, we were digging a drainage test pit. Mike hit something hard. It wasn't a rock. It was the drainage pipe the previous contractor installed. It was cheap agricultural plastic. It's meant for cornfields, not 20-foot retaining walls. The weight of the earth had crushed it flat. That was the smoking gun. The water had nowhere to go. The wall wasn't holding back dirt. It was holding back a trapped lake. But a crushed pipe is one thing. What we found next to the pipe was the real crime. The thing that turned this from a mistake into fraud. A retaining wall needs drain rock, behind it clean gravel that lets water pass through. But as we dug, we didn't find gravel. We found stumps. We found old drywall. We found plastic bags. The previous guy, the butcher, charged Sterling for gravel, but filled the wall with construction trash. Trash acts like a sponge. It absorbs water and gets heavy. That's why I couldn't move. The sponge behind that wall was full. The pressure was critical. Back in the present, Sterling didn't care about the trash or the pipe. He played his next card. He called the one person who could legally force me to move. The sheriff. I saw the blue lights. Sterling shouted, "Finally, arrest this trespasser." The deputy walked up to my cab, hand on his belt. He knocked on the glass. "Sir, the owner wants you off the property. You are obstructing access. Move it or I'm taking you in," I said. "Officer, if I move, this hill slides." "It's a safety hazard." The deputy paused. He saw the mud. He said, "I can't judge the safety, but I can enforce property rights. You have 2 minutes to figure this out." I needed backup. I needed someone with more authority than a cop. I needed the voice of God. I pulled out my phone and called the engineer. Davis is our Geo-Technical Engineer. He doesn't panic. I put him on speaker. He said, "I'm looking at the data. What is the wall height?" I said, 20 feet. "She's leaning 4 inches. Davis said, "Do not move that machine. The safety factor is 0.8. That means it's already failing. Only friction is holding it. If you release the bucket, the angle of repose fails." The cop heard, "Safety factor 0.8. He told Sterling, "I can't order him to move if it causes a collapse." That's negligence. Sterling didn't care. He fired the ultimate weapon. He looked at me and said, "I don't care about the engineer. I am ordering you to move. Right? Now." He gave the order. I had to comply or get sued for hijacking his land. But I had one move left. I pulled out a Field Change Directive. I wrote in big letters, "Owner accepts all liability for catastrophic failure." I told him, "Sign this, and I move." He snatched the pen. He signed it. He literally signed his house away. He thought he won. I put the clipboard away. I grabbed the joystick, but there was one more thing he didn't know about. The swimming pool. This wasn't just a wall. It was the footing for his 40,000-gallon infinity pool. The pool shell was concrete, but it was resting on the dirt held back by the wall. If the wall moves, the dirt moves. If the dirt moves, the pool cracks. I knew if that shell cracked, we weren't just dealing with mud. We were dealing with a tsunami. I engaged the transmission. I began to pull back. But here's the scary part. When I moved, absolutely nothing happened. I pulled back 10 feet. 20 feet, I cleared the driveway. The wall stood there. Sterling laughed. "See? Drama queen. It's perfectly fine." For a second, I thought, did I get the math wrong? Then I saw the bubbles. It was suction holding it up. Poor water pressure. And suction only lasts a few seconds. Sterling walked right into the kill zone to check his car. Then came the sound. The sound of a 20-ton structure dying. Crack. It sounded like a gunshot. Sterling froze. He looked back just as the wall blew out. 500 tons of mud hit the driveway. It caught the G-Wagon broadside. It pushed the $150,000 SUV through the garage door like it was made of cardboard. Then the pool went. The shell snapped. Whoosh! 40,000 gallons of water joined the mud. It was total devastation. Sterling was standing on the roof of his buried car, screaming for the police. But the police officer was already walking towards him, and he wasn't happy. The cop looked at the wreckage. He looked at Sterling. "Sir, you signed the order. He warned you. The engineer warned you. You did this." Sterling filed an insurance claim for $450,000. It was denied. Why? Because intentional disregard of expert advice is not covered. My waiver saved me, and it buried him. He lost the pool, the car, and the wall. But I have to ask you guys, I knew the pool would break. Should I have refused to move even if he sued me? Or did he deserve the lesson? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe.